Hey there, historians. This is your walkthrough of your lesson about the Mandan, the Hidatsa, and the Arikara. So your goal today is that you can share historical details of the Mandan, the Hidatsa, and the Arikara, or the three affiliated tribes in North Dakota. And this is a fascinating background video here about what an Earth Lodge is like. And this comes from the National Historical Site in North Dakota. We have a couple pages of instruction here, and it starts with this background information just about how all of our tribes are different, how tribes' oral traditions or storytelling help people understand their common history and traditions. Culture makes each tribe different from all other tribes. Each tribe also is identified in a particular area of land where they live and hunted. So the tribes that we're talking about are the Mandan, the Hidatsa, and the Arikara, and they were living in very similar areas. They had similar cultures. They had similar homes. As always, you can click on this audio file and it will read this information to you. This is a link to the North Dakota Studies website, and then this video will read to you and share some images from the North Dakota website. So if you wanted to play this, you could follow along with all of the text here at this site, or you can just listen carefully and get the information as you watch the slideshow go through. Again, this image will link you to the North Dakota Studies website, and this audio file will read this information to you about the three affiliated tribes. Now we jump into our activities. There's multiple pages of our activities, and this first one here is a sample to show you what to do. The Mandan, the Hidatsa, and the Arikara tribes all lived in similar homes. They lived in earth lodges, a dome-shaped home made of logs and covered with willow branches, grass, and earth. Illustrate your own earth lodge and insert that illustration below. So here is a sample that I created where I also added some of the details that I would find in an earth lodge and what it would look like if you saw multiple earth lodges. I got this information from the North Dakota Studies website. So if you need to click on one of those links so you can go there, but this is my sample. I just inserted it as an image, used my device's camera, and was able to do that. So on this page, you're going to create your own image of an earth lodge, and you're going to insert that illustration in this box below. On page 7, on slide 7, on this activity, we're talking about trading and how trade between non-Indians and the Native Americans, how it changed their life in many ways. So what you have to do is you have to set up a fair trade between the Native Americans and the European Americans that came to North Dakota. So over here you have items that the Native Americans might put up for trade, and over here you have items that the Europeans and the Americans might put up for trade. So you need to create what you think is a fair trade here, and then explain why you feel like that is a fair trade. And what we're working on here is understanding how trading was done in the villages and the forts, and they were set up as trading posts. How corn, bison hides, and beaver pelts were considered very valuable by Europeans and European Americans, and commerce became a huge business. If you need to resize the images because you're going to trade multiple things for one thing, that is up to you. You also may need to right-click on some of these images and duplicate them if you're going to share more than right-click or double-tap on your keyboard, and you might need to duplicate them or make a copy if you are going to trade more than one of something for a different item. And then on slide page 8, you have a critical thinking question that you need to answer. The Mandan, the Hidatsa, and the Arikara tribes all moved into the same village. What would be the advantages and the disadvantages of this arrangement? So thinking about everything that you have learned in this lesson and all the information that you have gathered, why would that be an advantage or a disadvantage? And then in your additional resources, for those of you who are seeking to know more, Um, this is a Meet My North Dakota from the North Dakota Tourism Board link, and it just talks about this gentleman's experience as a Native American from the 3 affiliated tribes in North Dakota and what he really wants people to understand. This is talking about how when Lewis and Clark came, their experiences with the Mandan Indians. This is a video that talks about members of the 3 affiliated tribes going to Washington, D.C. and performing at the Native American Museum in Washington, D.C., and how meaningful and impactful that is for them and their culture. And then this is a story that is told with audio, with words, and with sign language that the 3 affiliated tribes, how they would share their stories. So that is if you really want to see how that was done, that's a really interesting video. All 4 of these give you a lot of background information and are very interesting. And again, all of this work is done because your goal is that you can share historical details of the Mandan, the Hidatsa, and the Arikara, or the 3 affiliated tribes in North Dakota. Good luck, historians.